Alrighty. Furthering the death nail spiral of the MCU. I caught it first on YouTube with the New York Comic Con poster debut of Marvel with Eric's favorite character, Herbie. No, not the love bug from the 1970s or the remake with Lindsay Lohan, but Herbie, the
robot.
Which is
H.E.R.B.I.E, which stands for Humanoid Experimental Robot B-Type Integrated Electronics.
So it's a slave, because that's what the robot is a slave.
Well, that's what all robots are.
Because that's what the term is, robot, yeah. So they're condoning slavery. All right.
But, oh, Jesus. Oh, why though?
Why what? Herbie?
Why have him?
Because, well, first go with the acronym. What are the outdated concepts in the acronym?
Oh, I mean, it is a dated acronym even, I mean, who uses integrated electronics anymore?
It's like, who talks about Bakelite?
I mean, H.E.R.B.I.E was created by Stanley and Jack Kirby, legitimately, for the cartoon show in 1978, which was the new Fantastic Four, produced by the new Marvel Productions that Stan had come to California to head up. Between that and the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and some of those other Jim and Rom Space
Jim,
Knight.
I forgot Jim, yeah.
Those were Marvel Studios or Marvel Productions.
And Rom was a Mattel toy, but anyway.
Yeah, but Marvel had the comic book and they did the cartoon of it. It wasn't a Filmation or, Nelvana or any other. No, it was Marvel Studios. Well, Productions at the time. They weren't calling themselves Marvel Studios yet. But, I watched that shit, man. I was 13 in 1978. So, yeah, I did. I watched all those Marvel shows because I was a Marvel fan and I was hip to it. I was living through it, and I remember Herbie the robot in the Fantastic Four cartoon was there to replace the Torch for whatever reason. And I have always had the impression, and I don't know this to be true, it's just even all the way back to when I was watching it in its first run, broadcast.
On the Saturday morning.
On Saturday or
whenever it was.
Afternoon after school or whenever they aired it. And they had the Marvel Action Hour that featured different characters like Iron Man, but 3 or 4, some Hulk ones. Anyway, I've always had the impression that they dropped the Torch out of the series because it was just too difficult to animate him in the flaming form or whatever. They just either didn't have the budget to do that, consistently, or they, for whatever reason, I just think that it had something to do with animating the Torch.
Was the Torch in the Hanna-Barbera ones?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was more...
No, Hanna-Barbera was in like 1967.
Yeah, I know.
And, Herbie wasn't even...
thought of,
conceived of until 78,
So I think,
but then apparently I was just reading articles. There's a link in a description to it, that gives a little background and history of Herbie, and he was incorporated into the comics about a year after the cartoon show premiered. So
it's Aunt Harriet all over again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Aunt Harriet was created for the Batman series and was introduced in the comics while the show was on the air. But this was again legitimately created by Stan and Jack, so there is that incentive to keep him alive in the world of the Marvel universe, but. To get him in the first outing like this.
Well, they're gonna have Galactus and a Silver Surfer with tits. So yeah, why not?
They seems like they're shooting their wad right out of the chute in a way that it's like, where are they gonna go from there? Because Galactus can wait. For me, if I was to be doing the Fantastic Four, and I have put a lot of thought into it, I mean, for real, I would do the first movie, Fantastic Four #1 with the Mole Man, and take time to flesh out the Mole Man's character, maybe do some flashbacks and backstory of how he was just so denigrated and treated poorly over his appearance that it finally drove him underground, and even detail a little bit more about how he found the underground monsters and became their master, and then came to, I would do a whole thing, the whole movie, a good 2 hour long, really and have all the monsters look like the Jack Kirby illustrations, have them straight out of the comic, and
the 50s
do my
ones,
best
yeah.
to recreate Fantastic Four #1 with the Mole Man, and just screw all the Doctor Doom and the Galactus and all this stuff that everybody's voraciously waiting for, but give them something to introduce us to them so we get to know them before we get to all that
You mean
big stuff.
almost like since they have a streaming service, they could like do an hour show or a 2-hour movie just to, hey, this is the Fantastic Four. You get to know them.
Right. And again, right now in the modern day, I know how they're set to doing it in some retro 60s motif, and I really don't know enough about how that is all. Is it going to take place in the 60s, or is it a futuristic world in the style of the way the 60s used to, project what it was going to look like in the future?
So focusing back on Herbie, what do you think? Because I know how you think about this. Just say it.
I just don't think it's necessary.
What's the point, right?
And
who wants Herbie? Who's so clamoring for Herbie?
Yeah, who asked for that? That's the thing. It's like people are all out there bitching about the Thunderbolts. Who asked for this movie? And I say, you know what? Who cares? I like all the characters that they're going to feature in it. I really do. I mean, Wyatt Russell was the reason to watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I can't wait for him to come back as the U.S. agent. So I'm asking for it. I'd love to see it. I didn't ask for Herbie. Who did?
Well, is it just because you don't like Herbie is why you didn't ask for it? Because, I mean, how many people asked for Shang-Chi either? Nobody. Nobody was interested in Shang-Chi.
Yeah. But,
except the guy who played Shang-Chi who wanted to be in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, and who was lobbying and whatever to get in it. But you know what? Shang-Chi, though, did have its purpose of telling what the 10 rings were, and it did have some kind of a relevance and connection,
narrative, even though it was kind of offset.
And for taking one of Shang-Chi did have his own title for many years. It's not like he was some incidental character that appeared in a few books here and there. He was an ongoing regular title.
So an incidental actor playing an incidental character. No, anyway.
But
yeah. So who cares about Herbie?
And of course, Shang-Chi had Trevor in it.
Yeah.
It's worth watching just for that. Ben Kingsley. I love Trevor Slattery. And, so that made it worth it. But besides all that, we're not going to get that in the FF. What are we getting from this? What do we really... But I also, though, I did see our first look at The Thing. There was some, I guess, leaked shots of
leaked
him.
In parentheses.
Yeah. Some either that or somebody got a hold of some shots of the guy getting into the prosthetic, and it's all practical, and it looks really cool. So I'm going to give him that.
All right.
The Thing looks really cool.
But hold on.
I don't know if he's going to act as cool as he looks, and I'm not counting on it saving the movie for me, but I'm going to give it to him. The Thing does look spot on.
But that's the easiest hurdle to jump, because, hold on, in the Roger Corman film, in the 2000s films, even in the Four Stick film, The Thing looked great.
Yeah, but he didn't look like so CBA.
Yeah.
Comic book accurate.
That's our new term. Oh my God.
Yeah, we got that from Franchise the other night. And he is really, about as comic book accurate of The Thing as we've seen so far. Which,
and if he can have a stogie, that would be perfect. You can't be smoking. Smoking's evil. Blah blah blah. Well, yeah, but
Jack smoked a cigar, and The Thing was Jack Kirby's. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but no, really, what do you guys? Who cares one way or the other about this? I'm not like I'm so upset about it that I'm gonna boycott. I'm just all kinds of other reasons to be boycotting this fucking thing.
This is
it's
just
confirmed. H.E.R.B.I.E will be the Silver Surfer. That's in the article. It's in the link. You can read it for yourself. And we're going to see Galactus. It's been cast. There's a guy cast as Galactus. And somehow or other, I guess John Malkovich is even going to be in the movie somewhere. who knows? But
Do you guys want to see this movie? Do you guys like Herbie? Do you guys care about Herbie?
yeah,
Let us
does it
know.
even matter? I
Does
mean,
it? Yeah. Or is this
it's
just
makes
them throwing, you know,
and I mean, even the image,
computer imaging jizz all over a movie that nobody cares about?
and the robot itself, the design of it is
Very Transformers-esque. Like somebody used a leftover
it's
model.
reminiscent of the original, but it's not really. It doesn't look
Comic book accurate.
It's not as CBA as the thing.
Yeah. So
And I'm just looking forward to it less and less the more I hear about it, and it's sad
the more stuff.
because
Because the FF is
the first family of comet. They can't blow the FF, and everything I hear about
they
it
are blowing
sounds
it
like
like
it's just,
a tranny hooker in Hawaii.
oh my god.
With
man.
that,
yeah.
like, share, and subscribe.